In this video, I'm going to share with you my 5 solar passive design tips. What's going on, guys? My name is David Tomic. I'm a registered architect here in Western Australia. And today we're starting the discussion with orientation of your main living spaces. First of all, if you're living in the Northern Hemisphere compared to the Southern Hemisphere, they're going to be completely opposite. So throughout this video, I'm going to be using the Southern Hemisphere. You want to make sure that all of your living spaces, your kitchen, dining, your kitchen is based in the northern side of the block so we can get the maximum solar orientation from that sun throughout the day. You want to then bring your sleeping quarters to the rear of the property, being the south or the north if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. Traditionally speaking, people are more comfortable sleeping in the cooler environment of the home, hence why you push the sleeping quarters to the back or the south of the property. Next, you want to focus on thermal mass, and you want to be very strategic where you locate your thermal mass in the property. As an example, your concrete slab could be considered your main area of thermal mass, or it could be something like a rammed earth wall. Anything that basically has a high quality of mass, it's quite obvious what has mass and what doesn't have mass. If it's heavy, it has mass. If it's light, it doesn't. If you only have one primary thermal mass wall in your home that's going to radiate heat throughout that entire space, then you want to locate that as close to your living area windows as possible, because that sunlight is going to penetrate through those windows, hit that thermal mass wall, absorb all that heat, and then radiate it back out throughout the day. If, for example, you live in an extremely cold climate that doesn't get much sun at all, you can locate that thermal mass wall or thermal mass area on the floor next to a heating source. So if you have a good fire, log heater, gas heater, whatever kind of heating source, you want to locate that thermal mass wall as close to it as possible to be able to then basically absorb that heat and distribute it when that fire is no longer active. Now, I know everybody loves their windows, everybody loves looking at the view. However, you really want to be able to minimize your glazing throughout the house to make sure that you're not releasing too much of the actual heat. So you want to focus on the northern wall again for the Southern Hemisphere and aim to have about 15 to 25% of the floor area as actual glazing. You can go over that percentage, obviously that is just a guide and you want to be using them specifically for your project. However, if you do go over that percentage, it tends to traditionally make the build cost a little bit more expensive as that number progressively gets higher over 25%. Going back one step, and if you're living in one of those climate zones that is extremely cold and you cannot heat or cool your house effectively throughout the year, you might want to consider an airlock. So traditionally speaking, an airlock is going to be a small little confined space, completely sealed off, so that once you walk in, the cold air or the hot air from the outside doesn't immediately distribute throughout your entire space. Last but not least, this is critical to any house you live in. It can be something that you action today, it can be something that you plan for tomorrow, or it can be something that you simply remember for the rest of your life. The main point here is that air leaks will destroy any good solar passive design. And that's all from me. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.